The painting never changed while you were looking at it. It only changed when you turned away, not cracked paint. Not fading colors, it changed details, small ones, like the position of a hand, the direction of a shadow, or the expression on a face that wasn't smiling anymore. And the worst part? The painting knew exactly when nobody was watching. My name is Daniel. I work night security at a small private museum, one that never made headlines, never got tourists. Just quiet halls, old art, and too many cameras. That's where I first met the painting. It was called Still Life with a Family. Oil on canvas, late 1800s, and it should have been boring, but it wasn't. The painting showed a family of 4 sitting in a living room. A father reading a newspaper, a mother with her hands folded, 2 children on the floor, nothing strange. Except every night shift, something felt off. At first, I thought it was fatigue, but then I noticed it, the little girl's eyes. On Monday, she was looking straight ahead. On Tuesday, her eyes were angled slightly left. On Wednesday, she was staring directly at the viewer. At me. I checked the artist's reference photos. Old archives, restoration records, no changes documented. So I did what security guards do. I blamed myself, until the cameras proved me wrong. The gallery camera covered the painting 24/7. I pulled the footage. At 2:13 a.m., the painting looked normal. At 2:14 a.m., the camera glitched just 1 frame of static. At 2:15 a.m., the girl's eyes had moved. No hand, no shadow, no visible motion, just different. Like the painting had updated itself in between blinks. That's when I stopped calling it art and started calling it a problem. I started testing it. Whenever someone was physically present in the room, nothing changed. I stared at it for 20 minutes straight. Nothing. I turned my back for 30 seconds. When I looked again, the mother's hands had shifted. 1 finger was now slightly raised, like she was about to point or warn. I reviewed the footage again. Every change happened during moments with 0 observers. No people, no cameras, no reflections, when nobody could possibly see it. That's when the museum director laughed and said, "Paintings don't change. People imagine things." So I stopped talking and kept watching. A week later, the changes became personal. The father's newspaper now showed a date. It wasn't from the 1800s. It was today's date. The boy on the floor was holding something new, a small dark rectangle, a phone, not period accurate, not accidental. And the little girl? She wasn't looking at the viewer anymore. She was looking slightly to the right, at the spot where I usually stood during my shift. That night I didn't turn my back. I sat on the floor facing the painting for hours. My eyes burned. I didn't blink. At 4:11 a.m., I felt something strange, like pressure, like being stared at from behind my own eyes. Then I heard it, a soft sound, fabric, movement from inside the frame. I checked the camera feed in real time. Every camera covering the gallery went black at once. Not static, black, like someone had turned off sight itself. The room lights stayed on. I was alone with the painting. And I knew, without understanding how, that it was changing right then. Behind my eyes, I didn't move, didn't breathe. When the cameras came back, I looked at the painting. The family was standing now, all 4 of them. Closer to the front of the canvas, the living room behind them looked emptier, like something had been taken out. Or someone? The museum shut the exhibit down. Experts blamed environmental factors, humidity, old varnish, psychological suggestion. They said the camera glitch caused misinterpretation. The painting was moved into storage, locked, no lights, no visitors, no cameras inside. 3 days later, inventory flagged an issue. The painting weighed slightly more than before, only a few pounds, but oil paint doesn't gain weight. And neither does canvas, unless something else is added. They asked me to inspect it one last time. I stood alone in the storage room. The painting was covered with a cloth. I hesitated, then pulled it off. The family was gone. The living room was empty, except for one thing, a security chair, my security chair. Facing outward, and sitting in it, was a man in a guard uniform, my uniform. His face was unfinished, blurred like wet paint that hadn't dried yet. And on the wall behind him, inside the painting, was another painting, the same one, but this time, the little girl was standing behind the chair, her hand resting on the man's shoulder, and she was smiling because now someone else was watching the painting. And I understood the rule too late. It only changes when nobody looks because it's waiting for someone to take the watcher's place.